All right, we are at Tour of America's Dairyland, Manitowoc Day 1. We'll speed through the course, but today I want to talk about race awareness. So that chicane, little little dodgy, and then this was a very, very strong headwind coming from about 1 o'clock in the upper right hand there. Then it goes into a downhill into a very wide corner. But race awareness. So this race was a good example of if you're pretty aware of what's up the race, as you can see here, a couple guys, if you're aware of who's up the road and who the guys around you are and what are their motivations, it can help you decide how to play out your race. And some people do it very well. Some people don't do it so well. In this race, I did okay, but not very well. And we'll kind of go over that. So one of the things about this break right here is that the race leader in that orange bike right there, the orange bike taking that corner, he was very strong all race series, and he was very motivated pretty much in a lot of different breaks, in a lot of different situations. And the guy in second place overall is right here, who I push out a little bit. But I decide, okay, let's try to make it up to this break. I put that effort there. I take this corner way too poorly and almost crashed my shit into that curb. So this was probably one of the scarier situations the entire series. But you can look behind me. The guy in second place on the Omnium is, doing his work to catch back up to me, putting in some effort to bring this all back together because the race leader is still off the front there, as you can see. And so now I'm caught, and he's going to put in some more effort here to make sure that the whole thing gets glued back together so that race or the Omnium leader doesn't just kind of continue off the front with that break and eventually win the race, right? So he had just done big effort to catch me. Now he's on the front here, and we're about to be in a headwind. He's putting his head down here, very obviously tired. And so, I don't know, it's kind of a weird spot to be in right now because, you could either let the guy here on the upper right, the second place Omnium guy, say, hey, it's on you to bring back the race leader, or you could glue it all back together. And so Kevin on the front here decides to take up the headwind section to bring it all back together, kind of keep the race together so that, the whole race doesn't go away from us there, which it probably could have. But, those are your options in that situation. Either say, hey, it's on you, negative racing kind of thing, and then set up, or, have a chance to actually have the whole race back together. So I don't know what to say there, but now we get back, and the race leader here in the orange bike and the second place guy are back together. So you can see there's two guys going in this corner, and it might have been a good time to attack right here because they're back together, and I'm sort of a nobody. But the second place Omnium guy decides to take up this chase, and there's an adapt teammate here on the left-hand side to help bring him back up. And so even though he has a Belgium Works kit on, he was on the adapt team. I don't know what's going on with that, but good teamwork here, right? Because his teammate comes up and brings everything back together. And the two guys up on the front were very, very strong. So here you can see there's a couple guys up the road. And I was not really aware of this at the time, kind of just looking back now. I didn't know who was in that break, but there's clearly a good couple guys up there. I thought one of those guys was a buddy of mine named Jordan, who's very, very strong and could have gone the distance in any other race. So, when we kind of bring them all back together here, I thought he was still off the front, which you can see here. There he is. I thought that was Jordan, and so we just brought that back, attack, counterattack thing. This is a good time to attack, right? The attack had gone, brought back, and so now I'm going to attack. And so I call out to join him.
Jordan! Let's go! Let's go! You left? Let's go!
Terrible race awareness on my end. I thought that was Jordan. It was one of his teammates. And so then I thought he might have been lapped. I didn't know who he was. So very, very rookie mistake on my end. And also a noob mistake because you can see, look at the guy. I have a gap on them now. I want to be working with them together. Maybe there's the argument that the gap wasn't strong enough and I was just, making sure that we had a gap. But now that we do, I'm going to ask this guy if he wants to work and then put in the effort, right? So we know we need a bigger gap. I had some sort of signals going on here that
10-second pulse. We need a bigger gap. Go harder.
we needed not only a bigger gap, but that we just weren't going to do it. Like this pull here, I kind of had signs that we weren't going to make it. So I kind of essentially asked him if he's done because that pull wasn't strong enough that we were going to make it.
Go harder. You good? You done? You done?
So the awareness there was, are we going to make it? And if he's going to sit up.
You're sitting up. I'm sitting up. All right, fuck it.
Yeah, if he's sitting up, I'm sitting up. It's not worth the effort. But then we kind of get hijacked here on the right-hand side.
Go easy.
And I, for whatever reason, decided to make an effort and,
Easy.
you know, tell him easy, let's work together. But you can see in the rear cam that this was probably not a good idea because we're getting caught here. So race awareness situation would have been to know that we're getting caught by the peloton, by the group, and not put in that dig for no reason, right? So this is a decent effort on my end. The guy who I just attempted that break actually plays a very important role in the day 2 of Manitowoc, which you'll see later, but in the next video.
All right, we caught, boys.
So the rest of this race actually kind of played out still in an interesting way, right? So what happened here is that there was a very, very strong guy who got off the front, and you can see him up there taking the corner here, way up there. He eventually won the race, but here we are in lap 21 of 24, and we're all back together. And so what we end up doing here is we get pretty close. It's a very tight race, and the race leader takes off there. The Omnium leader takes off, thinking he can join that, sits on the front of this group here. But we're on lap 24, so now we are pretty much done for. That he's got enough of a gap off the front that we know he's going to win. So if I would have been aware of being better, you know, that I need better position here, I would have maybe attacked there, or you know, basically anywhere along this line going into the last lap had better position, because here it just doesn't matter. So hopefully this gives you some insight on knowing who's around you, who's up the road, and just having a general idea of how race awareness is important for crit racing. If you have any tips or suggestions, I appreciate it. Again, I kind of just do these videos to learn and get better myself, but hopefully this helped you as well. So thanks for listening, and more videos are coming. So thanks for watching.